All right, if you're just tuning in for the first time, it's me, your homie boy Drew, aka the Charm Guy. You are tuned in to the Charm Hour. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, throw 50K in the chat. Y'all know we got the 50,000 sub campaign going on this year, and we will get 50,000 subscribers because we want people here having uncomfortable, controversial conversations with me. And that's what I do, and that's the thing that I'm king of because I want people to have uncomfortable conversations as they should be having. I love politically when things that I've said come true, but I get great examples as it's happening, so I can talk about my philosophy as it pertains to culture in the United States of America politically. The Latino is very similar to the black in this country in terms of persecution, persecution, and struggle to gain citizenship to this country. Now, it's going to be different. It's going to be different in terms of how it happens with black people, because I think the most severe and egregious actions happen towards black people. Um, but other cultures who are not white will experience some hatred, and the other group that would have had experienced it at a pretty severe level would be our Mexican Americans or Latino population, Hispanic population, however we should refer to it properly in this country. Largely because, and depending on what Latino group you come from, you're going to have some strong African ancestry there, but you're going to have things ethnically that have been in opposition to whiteness. So this is just us setting up the stage. Um, I think the idea for black people, so long as that they would vote a certain way, according to how they felt, that was similar for Latinos. People thought that, especially here in Texas, our Mexican Americans, we found that that wasn't true. Even amongst their group, there is a divide. We assume the assumption that all Mexicans think alike and all Latinos think alike is plain just as simple as stereotypical. And it is racist in nature because we have gotten that idea from others, or mainly in our community at some time, a white society that persecuted these people and gave us an idea of how we should view them, because at one time in this country that's how whiteness worked. Okay, but we found out later that they're not all the same. They don't have the same belief system. They have a divide. They have somewhat of a caste system. The darker you are, the lighter you are. There's privilege on the light side. There's persecution on the dark side. Same with black people, light skin, dark skin. You have a lot of the same things politically going on in these communities, and it is rapidly changing the ideology in this country of how we view ourselves as citizens, how we view ourselves as being a part of having the American pie, how we view race. Race is really coming back up to the forefront as a conversation, but we're having a different conversation about it. And I said this during this last election cycle. You're going to see now more nationalism, and ethnically, that's just going to look different. It's going to look different. You see with immigration that all Latino Americans are not actually on the side of undocumented workers being here and having rights. You had this recent protest where now it was a peaceful protest that is now turned into something where they're acting belligerent and they're not even citizens here, reinforcing the idea that we have about undocumented workers, and they're waving their flag and not the United States flag. All Latino people are not in alignment with that. And you're hearing them speak out equally as you're hearing everyone else speak out. Just as black people speak out against things in our community that community that we don't like. The one thing that I see is coming out of this though is nationalism. Remember what I told you, when you don't have racism, you have to replace it with something else, nationalism. And it has to reflect what that society is if it's going to be a strong nation. It has to reflect what it looks like and its principles. And you're seeing a diverse group of people that are all American. You see somebody like a Patel that's over the FBI. You see even blacks, Hispanic. You see where we are as far as voting and politics and ideological thinking. Um, you see all races and groups of people coming together and saying, we're going to wave this flag. We believe in America. And that's what it should be. It's unfortunate that a lot of the immigration talk in this country is really hinged on the backs of um, Latino people, Hispanic brothers and sisters, Mexican, and I call them my brothers and sisters because for us they are. Listen, I don't believe in the whole people of color thing. You're either black or you're not. But the next ethnic group that would be aligned with you and chooses to deal with you and love you and support you financially is the brown community. The brown community gives a lot of support to the black community. Yes, we're going to have some racial indifference at times, but mainly in Texas, I think we've shown a lot of black brown unity. In California, you're seeing it happen. We need that. But the divide for all of us, no matter what you look like or what your heritage is where do you fall in line with loving the country and being an American citizen? And that's what we need. And that's what's important. And that's not going to be democratic right now. We're not going to have a Democrat. Now we're seeing, if you look at it politically, we're seeing why people voted the way they did in the popular vote. You're seeing black, brown, white. You're seeing a lot of people come together over the issues, and that's going to bring the country together. Whether you call this guy racist or not, the way they're wording things and who he's putting in charge where, I'm telling you, it's going to bring the country together. It is. Even at the bad moments and the oppressive parts. I want y'all to think about that and get in the comments and tell me how you feel. But I said this about the Latino community. I said this about the Latino community. It's not a homogenous group. They're not going to vote the way that they thought they were going to vote. They're not.